Thank you so much for joining us today on our second webinar for 2015 One Small Step season. We're really excited to have you joining us, and we're going to talk about how to maximize your fundraising capacity today. Throughout the webinar, we're going to encourage you to ask your questions. Everyone is on mute by default, but if you have a question, you can use your control panel to raise your hand and we'll unmute you. You also may type questions in at any time and we can answer them throughout the conference. And if you have any questions that haven't been addressed after the call is over, you can feel free to email me at the email address you see on your screen, danacapobianco@gmail.com. On the call today, we have myself, Dana Capobianco. I'm the acting One Small Step coordinator this year, as well as Susan Hedstrom, the executive director of FPWR and mom to the 3 beautiful children you see in her picture, including Jaden, who is 5 years old and has PWS.
Thank you, Dana. I'm so thrilled to be on the call with all of you guys. Dana, of course, didn't introduce herself nearly as well as she should have. Dana joined our organization about 2 years ago. I met her in 2012, so I guess that's actually 3 years ago now. She joined the organization as a fundraiser. She set up a personal page and raised, Dana, how much did you raise in just a few weeks? It was something pretty amazing.
$20,000, yeah.
It is $20,000. And when I met her at the conference in Philly, I knew that we had something special on our hands. So Dana is now a veteran One Small Step host. She has truly adopted our One Small Step model and can attest to the power of our program. And so I'm thrilled to have her joining our team. Thank you so much, Dana, for coming on.
Thank you.
Before we get started with today's presentation, I did just want to thank all of our hosts who are on the call and who are not for participating in One Small Step. I am so thrilled with the potential that we have in research this year. We have a lot of wonderful things going on, and this is all directly a result of the fundraising that our dedicated hosts have been putting in place for the organization. We are now at a point where we are raising enough funds each year that we can direct research. We no longer have to be sitting passively and letting researchers come to us. We're actually at a point now where we can go out to the researchers and say, we need this done, and find the people to do it. So thank you so much for allowing this to be possible. Again, we could never have done this without you. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'm sure all of you are very familiar with the One Small Step website at this point. To explain the website, this site has been specifically created for One Small Step to support our events. So when you go to the home page, you'll see that it's composed of events. Within each event, you then have individual fundraisers. Each individual fundraiser is going to manage a personal fundraising page with their own story and goal. And this includes hosts. So hosts will not only manage their event page, but they will also register for their event and manage their own fundraising page. The number one role of the event host is to encourage all of your family and friends to customize a personal page and share it with their network of family and friends. When you first begin planning your event, you're going to wear the hat of encouraging everybody else to fundraise. You yourself are not going to ask for individual donations to your page. Rather than asking people to donate to your page, I actually want you to go out to your friends and say, you can create a fundraising page yourself. Don't donate to me. Make a donation or make a page. They'll come in, they'll create, they'll put in their own personal photo. Perhaps it's a photo of your child. That's what one of my best friends does. She puts in a picture of Jaden. She inserts her personal story. My great friend has a child with Prader-Willi syndrome. He's awesome. He's amazing. I love him, blah, blah, blah. And then she sets her goal. I can tell you from personal experience, the first year I did a walk, she gave me an incredibly generous donation. She gave me $250. The next year, she set up her own personal fundraising page, and every year since that, she's raised over $3,000. So that's the difference between asking a friend to make a donation and asking them to set up this fundraising page. When you ask people to set up a page, you're actually telling them to go to the Register Now button. I want you to think Register Now means create your fundraising page. So when you're instructing people to go and become a fundraiser, you're asking them to register for your event. When they register, they'll go through the process of creating the page. Dana?
So I just want to echo a little bit of what Susan said in the importance of getting personal on your page. When you or your fundraising team are creating their personal page or your own personal page, it's so important to engage your audience by inserting a personal photo, a moving video that you create, and your personal story. It's really important, and it only takes a few minutes to update the little default text that FPWR inserts on the pages with your own story, and that includes the story of your friends and family. As Susan said, her best friend, puts a little message about, my good friend has a son with Prader-Willi syndrome. And when your friends and family are fundraising for you as part of your team, and they insert their personal story, you don't even know who your audience might be. It might be people that you've never met before, and to be able to engage them by having these personalized anecdotes, either a story, a video, or a photo, will certainly increase the impact of the page. In the same vein, when you're encouraging your fundraising team to update their story, we want to make sure that you're creating your story. This year, Kelly Robbins created her personal story about how she lives in Louisiana, where food is a huge part of their daily life and their social events, and how difficult it is to have a child with Prader-Willi syndrome in that environment. And every time I read it, I'm impacted by it, and I'm a parent of someone with Prader-Willi syndrome. But the way she shared it from her perspective was really moving, and I think that the people that are reading it find it moving too. And Kelly Garner's video that she created this year has also drummed up the same emotion in the people that are viewing it. Susan, I can't see the slide, so I just don't know where you are right now.
Oh, that's lovely. You can't see any slides.
No.
Can you see what are you seeing when you see my screen sharing?
I don't see any screen.
Oh.
I just see our pictures that say, that we're on webinar number 2.
Oh, that's interesting. I
don't know if I'm the only one, or.
Yeah, and I can't tell. So I'm gonna escape from the slideshow for just a minute and see. I don't see any slides. Yep, everyone's saying the same thing. So what do you see now?
Let's see. I still see the same thing.
Here we go. You should be able to see it now.
Yes, now I see it. Okay, great.
Okay, so let's. You know what? I can just. Except that you're seeing my really ugly slides, but okay.
That's okay. Looks great.
We'll go ahead and just go right back into it.
Okay, so when you're creating your personal page, another thing that you want to do to increase your impact is setting the stage by creating a large first donation. So when you create your page, if you're sending it out and your amount raised is $0, it kind of sends a message, or I should say that if your amount raised is if you have an amount raised and you have a nice donation there, it shows your friends and family how serious you are about raising money for research. So it increases the impact, and it also sets the stage for the donations that are going to come in following your own.
Sure. Now, not everybody is going to be influenced by this tactic. However,
of course,
if you donate $20 on your page, your friends and family are going to come and say, oh, they donated $20. That's the standard. I'll donate $20. If you put up a $500 donation or $200 or whatever, whatever that big donation is, then your family and friends are going to come in and they're going to be, oh, the standard is $100. I'll give what I can give. So it just it sets that tone for future donations.
Mm-hmm. In this day and age, we also have the benefit of having the ability to share through social media. Not only does it make it extraordinarily easy for for ourselves to share, but also for our friends and family to click and donate in a safe and secure environment on the One Small Step website. But it also widens our reach exponentially. So when you share on your Facebook page and then your friends are sharing their pages on their Facebook page, then our reach is being widened, and people that we don't even know are seeing our fundraising pages. And I have a personal example where in our second year, but our first One Small Step event, my page, actually we had 64 personal pages set up that year. And so all of our friends and family set up their very own pages, and they were sharing and sharing. And so people that I didn't know were seeing, and we received 2 anonymous $5,000 donations from people that we had never met before that just came across our page and saw our video and felt inclined to donate. And so that, to me, is so powerful, the use of social media and sharing your pages.
So we wanted to give you some examples of how you can raise $200. This should absolutely not be the end-all be-all. The possibilities are endless. So these are just some ideas of how you can get to that $200 point. Make your own donation of $40. Ask friends or coworkers for a donation of $15. Ask family members for a donation of $30. How about going out to your doctor, your dentist, your hairdresser, other professionals, and asking them for a donation of $25? Or a business that you frequent often. Perhaps that there's a restaurant that you go to every week or once a month. Ask them for a donation. Ask people from your place of worship. If the donation could be even as small as $5. Or ask a neighbor for a donation of $10. When you add up all of these different possibilities, it's very easy to get to 200. And just imagine what can happen if they donate even higher than your ask. Oh, this was supposed to be a really cool animation. Can you still see my slide? Or did it?
Now I can, yes.
Okay, so let's hope that it stays there. So with the support of your family and friends, your fundraising multiplies. Let's say that you go out and you asked all of those people for a donation and you raised $200. If asking them to create their own fundraising page rather than giving you the $200, you're going to see something more like this. Okay, they'll each raise $200 for you. So you're expanding your network and increasing your fundraising without you personally having to know more people or make more asks. So we want to help, as a host, we want to help our fundraisers reach their fundraising goals. Dana, perhaps you could give us some ideas of how we can help our fundraisers do that.
Sure. As you create a fundraising team, not only can your team do something as simple as ask for donations, but our team generally loves to host their own mini events. They find it easier to solicit donations by giving people something like somewhere to go or hosting a yard sale. Last year we hosted a motorcycle run. We always host an awareness day at my daughter's school, and the school allows us to fundraise. The kids are sponsored to do yoga for the day in honor of PWS. So other ideas are wear your jeans to work day, have a bingo night, a bowling night. And we've had an open mic night, hosting a silent auction. All of those things can be put together by your team if they want to support you throughout the season. And then all of the funds that you raise through that can be applied to each of their pages. So it's just other fun ways to raise money other than just asking.
Mm-hmm.
We also want to support our fundraising team by sending regular emails to them. Throughout the season, you will receive emails from Susan to support you as a host of the event and remind you of the things that you might want to be doing throughout as the season progresses, to keep you on a sort of timeline and to offer you any support that you may need. In the same vein, we like to support our fundraising team. If you go into the host management section of your One Small Step page, you'll find a series of emails that we've created that you can share with your team and customize them to say whatever you want, but it's a good guideline for what they might need to hear as the season progresses. It gives them some tips on how and where they can ask for donations and different ways that they can support you. And it just keeps keeps them engaged in, in the effort.
Absolutely. So that guide has been designed for about a 12-week email campaign. You can customize any of the email messages to be Facebook posts as well. And of course, we want to make these any posts or any communications as personal as possible. So the guide is really as it's to be used as a template or an example for you to customize. You could make your emails less frequent, so you could turn the 12-week email campaign into a 16-week campaign, however you like. But it's a great place to start, so I highly encourage everyone to go and check it out. Like Dana said, it's on Host Management, and it's available for you to use.
It's also easy, I think, as we kick off the year in the wintertime, and then a lot of the events don't happen until the fall. So people go through, the spring and summer and the rest of the winter thinking about your event, and generally there will be a large push when you first put the event out there, and then a large push just before the event occurs. But it's nice to keep everyone engaged in what's happening with our event. We're still planning, we're still getting really excited about it, we're still fundraising throughout the rest of the season. So by sending your emails and kind of check-ins, you're keeping your fundraisers engaged and letting them know that this still really means a lot to us. This is what we're doing. Are you still thinking about it and getting excited? So another tool that we've created that you can access through Host Management is the fundraising guide, and it provides tips to help you and your fundraisers meet your fundraising goals. And it's available to all fundraisers by clicking on the fundraising tips item in your account menu. So it's not only beneficial for you as a host, but it's something that you're going to want to share with your team. There are different tips and tricks in there. Like the slide that we showed you earlier on how to raise $200, we break down how to raise $500, how to raise $1,000, just lots of different ideas in how to fundraise.
So we've talked a lot today about some of the different tools that we have available for you. If you need inspiration, we've definitely got you covered. Thanks to our many dedicated hosts over the past several years, we've collected many sample communications that you can use and customize for your own. Again, if you go to Host Management, we've got all of these documents there. Here's just one sample letter that you would find on Host Management. This was sent to us from Rachel, who is a participant in the Montreal Walk. She sends this out to her fundraisers to announce her events. And what I really like about this is she includes how you can support her family. Not only is she asking for a donation, but she's saying that you can participate, you could register as a fundraiser. And what I thought was also very powerful was at the bottom, she has the statement of, "I choose to believe." And then there was 3 statements on what she chooses to believe. I thought that this was a very powerful email, and we have more samples just like this available for you on Host Management if you need some inspiration. And if beyond inspiration, you need some incentives, we always love a prize. All of our fundraisers who meet fundraising minimums will be automatically entered to win one of 2 prizes. So for all of our event participants, if they have a fundraising page on One Small Step and they raise $200, we will enter them to win an iPad mini. This prize will be drawn on November 15th by all, and again, all of our eligible participants will be automatically entered. What I do is I pull a report on November 15th of everyone who has raised $200. The funds do need to have been received by FPWR. So if you add a $200 check as an offline donation and it hasn't been received, we cannot include that in our eligibility. But on November 15th, we'll draw one iPad to be won by any one of our participants. In addition to the iPad draw, we have our annual draw for Prader-Willi families only. So this one has to happen earlier in the year. It's a draw for our 2015 research conference, which this year that'll be September 25th and 26th in Austin, Texas. For every $1,000 that a Prader-Willi family raises, they will earn 1 entry into that draw. That draw will take place August 15th, and the draw includes airfare for 1 person, round trip, hotel accommodations at the Radisson Hotel, which is the location of the conference, and it includes conference registration. So it's essentially a free trip to Austin for the research conference. And again, this is only for Prader-Willi families. You have to raise $1,000, but you get one entry for every $1,000 raised. So I think a great example, I see Kelly on the call. Kelly has already raised $7,000. So she has earned 7 entries for the Austin trip. Some of our other families who've raised $1,000, you would have 1 entry.
That's awesome. That's the best prize that you can win.
It is, isn't it? And I always love being
Yeah.
able to call the person and tell them what they just won because I've never had a person turn it down. We love to attend. So I want you guys to start thinking about some questions because we're going to open up the lines in just a minute to answer any questions that you have. Just in summary of what we've talked about today, we've talked about setting up your personal page. You as a host need to set up your page. You also need to encourage your family and friends to set up their personal pages. That is your number one job. We want everybody to customize the personal story and upload a moving photo or video. We then want to encourage our fundraisers to share their pages with family and friends. So I want to start seeing all sorts of posts on Facebook with people sharing their pages, not just our hosts, but your fundraisers as well. That's even more important than you sharing your page is them sharing their pages. Let's get Twitter going with Facebook or with these pages as well. And of course, let's use our favorite mode of social media, which is email, and start emailing out this opportunity to everybody. Just a reminder, you can access host management for sample letters, etc. And you can share these samples with your fundraisers. There's nothing private and secretive about these documents. If you see something there that you like, please use it, copy it, paste it, send it in an email, share it with your fundraisers, encourage them to use these tools. And finally, to set the stage, you want to make a large donation to your page or encourage a family member to make that donation for you. But we want to get that nice sized first initial donation on the pages just to set an example. All right, so I know that we've talked about a lot of things today, and I'm sure that there's a lot of questions. So if you do have a question, I would love to unmute you. I just need you to raise your hand, or if you are private and you'd rather type in a question, you are, of course, welcome to do that as well, but we'd love to hear from you. We did such a great job, Dana, that people don't have any questions.
We covered everything. I do just want to thank all of you guys for hosting a One Small Step event or participating in a One Small Step event in any way. When the season really starts, I know the season has started. We've started registering events. We have a huge number of events already registered, which is really exciting. But when everybody starts actively fundraising, you're going to feel so excited and so lucky to be part of this team of people as you scroll through your Facebook feed or your Twitter feed and all of your friends are sharing their pages. It's really, really exciting to see the momentum going as we get into the thick of the season. So thank you guys for fundraising for such a special reason.
Sure. And I also want to say that I love watching everybody's thermometers rise. So if you want to make me happy, you're going to start feeding my addiction, and I'm going to start checking the thermometers every 10 minutes. It's really quite unproductive, but I absolutely love it. I do see questions starting to come in, so we are going to start addressing those. Just a quick plug. Today is March 12th, March 15th. I get to draw one more host starter package. We're giving away 10 of them this year. So every 2 weeks on the 1st and the 15th of the month, we're going to be drawing one host to receive a starter package. It gives all of our events some opportunity to be entered to win. Once you've won a starter package, you will not be entered to win again, but otherwise, all of our hosts who've raised $2,000 and have 5 fundraising pages under their events will be entered for that. Dana and I are working on t-shirts right now, so we will have that design ready to go in the next couple of weeks so that you can start ordering t-shirts for your events about 3 weeks before your event. And last but not least, we do have a great website redesign in the works, and that should be available likely in April. It will not affect any of your current pages, so you can go ahead and keep fundraising and setting up pages as you always have. And then when the site redesign is implemented, you'll just wake up one morning and it's going to be beautiful and you're going to be excited. All right. So I'm going to start going through questions. I do see a number of people who have typed in questions. Do people still have to raise a minimum of $40 to get a T-shirt? So our T-shirts are priceless. We don't sell One Small Step shirts. Our motto is that we want to thank our fundraisers. So anyone who has raised or donated $40 or more, we're going to give them a free T-shirt as a sign of our gratitude. And of course, any child who attends an event, we want to just give them a free T-shirt. We're not expecting children to donate or to fundraise. So to answer your question, yes, we are asking all fundraisers and donors to give or donate or get someone else to donate $40 in order to get their free T-shirt. Can you cover how we go about getting banners, T-shirts, etc.? So this year's new. We have the host starter packages, which do include a One Small Step banner. However, we do not provide banners to all of our events because we have found that they can be donated very easily. If you go to a local print shop and ask for a banner, you can typically get one donated. If you cannot get a banner donated, Vistaprint often has discounted, they'd have discounted offers. You can get banners for as little as $30 if you use a coupon. You can get a 50% off coupon very often. So if you can't get a banner donated, I would suggest going ahead, go to Vistaprint, purchase the banner, and FPWR can reimburse you for that expense. T-shirts, you need to contact Dana Capobianco here in the US, or if you're in Canada, you would contact Carol Elkall, and they will arrange your T-shirt orders. If you're a new host, we understand it's very challenging to estimate your attendance, so we're going to base your order on your participant list and your fundraising totals. So, Dana, perhaps you'd like to explain that a little bit.
Sure. So we go over when I contact you 4 to 3 weeks ahead of your event. We go over approximately how much you've raised, and we take a look at your registration report to see how many people have registered for your event, and take a mix of that information and project about how many people you're expecting to be at your event. As Susan said, we kind of gauge it around $40 donation per adult, and so if you have one donation for $5,000 and they've responded that one person is coming, we're not going to send $5,000 worth of T-shirts because that would be wasteful. FPWR does pay for the T-shirts. So we work together, and I try to guide you, and we see, how many people we think will be attending, and then we'll place the order, and the shirts should be delivered to you at least a week prior to your event happening, so you can go through them. And this year, unlike previous years, we're also going to be sending you your host shirt in the box of the regular One Small Step shirts that you receive. So everything will come together in one package.
Yeah, thank you, Dana. We do try to keep our expenses as low as possible so that we can put our money where it really counts, which is research. So we try to order T-shirts. We try not to send extra. We will make sure that all of your participants are covered, but what we want to avoid is ordering 500 shirts and you only have 100 people there, or even ordering 400 shirts and only having 300 people there, because it's very costly to send shirts and to reship them. So we want to get you as close to the number of shirts that you're actually going to need. And if you run out of shirts at your event, we can ship you some extras after your event to cover that. So I would rather underestimate than send an additional 100 shirts over what you need. Again, we'll do our best to make sure that you are covered and you get what you need, and Dana will work with you to make sure that happens. So again, we're asking about the T-shirt. If someone donates $40, they qualify for a T-shirt. Yes, if someone donates $40 and they attend your event, you're going to give them a T-shirt. If somebody fundraises and they fundraise a minimum of $40 and they attend your event, we're going to give them a T-shirt. So basically, when I run my event, my T-shirt doling is very loose. People come in, I ask them, did you raise or donate $40? If they say yes, I say, please go select your T-shirt. I really don't make a big deal about this. Ultimately, we want everyone who comes to our event to feel included and to be happy. And if I have
Mhm.
extra t-shirts that day and someone comes in and they didn't give the money, I'm going to give them a t-shirt if I have it. But they're going to be the last person because I want to make sure that everyone who did give or raise or donate the $40 gets the t-shirt. So we want people to understand this is our policy, but the day of the event, we don't want people to leave grumbling. So we do our best to really accommodate everyone. And again, when we're making the order for the t-shirts, we're going to base that on mostly your fundraising totals. We're going to divide that thermometer by $40, and we're going to see how many shirts would be your maximum that you qualify for.
Mhm.
So some people aren't having their events to the fall. Should they start a page and really start fundraising now? That's a great question. And my response is always, yeah, set up your page. It doesn't hurt to set it up. If you set up your page now, you can certainly share it. You might get a few donations in, but you're probably not going to get the big influx that you will as you build up closer to your event. We like to see fundraisers up online as early as possible. It doesn't hurt to set up your page early, but yes, you're going to have to come up with a timing that you are comfortable with as far as when to begin really pushing your page. Dana, you can tell me how you feel. I personally don't feel comfortable sharing my page 10 months out of the year. So
Mhm.
I don't share my page 10 months out of the year. I keep my donations to about 2 months. But I do set up my page
Mhm.
early in the year. So if you go and look at my walk at San Diego, you will see that I set up a page. I also made a donation. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I set up my page early. I made my donation so that people will see that I set the stage, but I am not currently promoting my page.
Mhm.
Mary, I hope I
I
answered.
I also set up my page early. We have a fall event as well, and what I found that works for us in the past few years is that I set up my page early, and then I don't really say much about it until May. May is PWS Awareness Month. I generally share for the first time then, and make a small push like, hey guys, let's get our fundraising team together. And I do my email campaign with my friends and family that have fundraised for us in the past or who I think might be interested in joining our fundraising team. And we generally have a positive response for after our initial share, and then I let it lay low through the early part of the summer. People are away on vacation, kids are out of school, people are doing fun family things, and it's not really a very productive time to fundraise, at least where I live. And then before our event again, beginning in late August to through September, and this year we're going to be in October, we do a final push and we raise a good amount of money closer to the event. But this way it's out there a couple months ahead of time, but I'm not actively sharing it all summer long.
Yep. And for those of you who are planning events but have not yet set up your event page, we do want to set up your event page. That way, when other families come to One Small Step, they can see our list of events and they may want to join you. So it is important if you're considering an event, even if it's not until the fall, go ahead and register that event so that we can set it up online. And any families who are visiting One Small Step can then see your page and perhaps contact you about joining your committee.
Right.
Um, there's there's a lot of talk about our competition this year. We have a lot of new hosts and a lot of very competitive hosts who want to bring the conference to their city. So let's talk about that just briefly. Um, the FWR conference location is determined by the top 3 One Small Step locations in the US. So this is the US conference that we're discussing, not the Canadian conference, the US conference, determined by the top 3 locations with preference given to the number 1 revenue One Small Step event. So this past year, our top event was in Austin, Texas. It was Melissa Demand and Angela Frazier. They raised over $100,000. So the preference was given to them to have the conference in their city. Now, I say preference because there are a few logistical criteria that come into play. One, we need to have an airport that people can come in and out of. So if you live in a location where there's not an easily accessible airport, we might need to be flexible on where the conference is actually held. Perhaps the conference is an hour away from you instead of in your actual hometown. Secondly, we need to know that there are a number of families who can attend your conference. And finally, you as a host have to agree that you want to have the conference in your town and be willing to take on the responsibility of helping us with the logistical items around hosting a conference. Dana can tell you some of the information about that because she hosted it and she did an amazing job. But there are some responsibilities to being the conference host that come with hosting the conference. So
Right.
that's why we say the preference is given to the top event. Um, the conference will not go back to the same location, so you have it has to rotate for 3 years. So last year was in New York. The conference cannot go back to New York, and the conference this year is in Austin, Texas, so it cannot go to Austin, Texas in 2016. So those are the outlined rules for that. We will determine the host city November 15th. And yes, Hillary, I think a conference in Vegas would be awesome. Hillary is one of our competitive hosts. She wants it in Vegas, and I can't blame her. I think that would really be great. So there's a question.
That would be probably too much
It
fun.
sounds like my audio is going fuzzy. I'm going in and out. I apologize for that. I am using a hotspot from my phone today. So hopefully the audio is okay right now. If I do go fuzzy, just let me know and I can backtrack and repeat anything that we need to discuss. Okay. How long of a walk do people typically plan for family-friendly events? So how long is the course is how I'm interpreting that question. Um, it varies. Our course in San Diego is about 2 miles. Dana, how long is your walk course?
We have a 5K, so a little bit over 3 miles. But Philadelphia has, I think, less than a mile walk, and it's just nice, and it's kind of like a loop that people do through a nature trail.
Mhm.
I know other events have had walks around their local high school track. So I don't think that there's any specific distance or venue that is needed. It's just what you think would work in your area.
Sure. It truly is you have to decide what you want your course to be. If you want it to be family friendly, I would certainly consider that a lot of people are going to bring strollers. Hopefully they're going to bring
Hmm.
walking strollers, but you can't always guarantee that. So you might consider a smooth walking path like a sidewalk or well, a sidewalk. Some people, however, have done hiking walks, so they go out on hiking trails as well. It can really be whatever you want it to be. Um, the, so, how much time is needed to plan an event, and can you change your event date? The answer is absolutely. Your event can be changed on one small step. For the event listing, I will need to go into the admin section to change that date. So if you do need to change your date, just send me an email, let me know, and I will help you change it so that it shows up in the correct order in our event listings. And people often ask me, how long does it take to plan an event? And I will answer that it depends. It depends on what your vision is for your walk, and it depends on how much time you give yourself. Because if you give yourself 3 months to host your event, it's going to take you 3 months to plan it. If you give yourself 6 months to plan your event, it's going to take you 6 months to plan it. Ultimately, I think that 3 months is a really good lead up time for planning an event. I have had a host do it in as few as 5 weeks. Dana, how much time do you give yourself for your 5K?
I generally try to get in right in the beginning of the year to get our permit, just because places book up, like the parks around here book up, and I know where I'd like to use for my location. I think that that's a good tip, and probably as soon as you know you want to host a walk, find your location and date, and then get your permit in order. And then after that, I've been telling people you can throw it together in a few weeks, just like Susan said, depending on your vision. So if you have a lot of moving parts and you need to secure donations for children's entertainment and food and water and things like that, you want to build some time out. And generally, it's best to approach businesses that you're going to be soliciting donations from as early in the year as possible, because they have a budget. So they have a budget in terms of what items they can donate, what monetary donations they can make for the year. And so if the earlier you approach them, the better chance you have of receiving things.
Mm-hmm.
And so that type of stuff I try to do early in the year, but then getting my committee together and getting our materials together only takes a few months.
Yeah. And Dana has a pretty big event, so she's saying it takes her a couple of months. If you're planning a very simplistic walk where you're just going to do, the walk only, no extras, perhaps have some bottled water, maybe have a snack, that's really about as complicated as planning a picnic in the park or a birthday party.
Right.
I plan, birthday parties in 2 weeks or less. So again, it really just depends on what you want to do, and what you want to accomplish. So we're happy to talk to you individually. If you want to kind of tell us what you're planning on doing, we might be able to help you with a timeline for that.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like we may have gone through all of our questions, but we're always happy to answer any others. So whether you've asked a question or if you've been sitting silent, we're happy to hear from you some more. Megan, I know your event is the first of the year, not the first January 1st, but yours is the first event on our calendar this year. Do you have any questions pertaining to your event? Megan has done her event. I can't remember how many years it's been now, Megan. I apologize. It's been probably 4. This might be your 5th. Megan works with a running club to host a run and a walk. She's told me that it really is like hosting 2 events on the same day because of the run and walk component. But by working together with the running club, she's really been able to make that work. This is her 5th year, and she's a veteran, so she's telling me that she doesn't really have any questions. Oh, Claire, I just deleted your question. I'm sorry, I didn't even get a chance to read it. I accidentally clicked the wrong button. So if you could send it over to me again, I would greatly appreciate that. Paige and Jackie, this is gonna be your first year hosting walks, and Jen as well. We have quite a few first year hosts who are joining us today. Have we answered some of your logistical questions? There's no question. First of all, people always ask me, or say that this might be a stupid question, and there is no such thing because these are all very valid questions. Claire, yes, we are recording the webinar so that you can listen back to it later on. I'll try to get it posted later this afternoon. You're welcome. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Oh, here's another one. Okay, so oftentimes our donors really like to know where their money is going. FPWR, if you go to our homepage, we do have a listing of funded projects. So if you go to the research menu and then you go in there, you'll find a list of funded projects. We also have quarterly webinars, and I encourage all of you to attend those because we will be discussing the currently funded projects. So on our next webinar, it hasn't been announced yet, but I'll let you know. It's going to be tentatively set for March 30th. We'll be announcing our latest list of funded projects. We were able to fund 7 new projects this past quarter, and we'll be discussing those. I also, in the next couple of months, would like to share with you our research strategy. So in February, our board met and discussed, we had a research strategy meeting. And again, thanks to the fundraising that you guys are doing, we're really in a position now to accelerate our programs even faster and to go beyond our grants program to start directing more projects in a very proactive manner. So I will make sure to disseminate more of that information to you in the next couple of months. For those of our hosts who have set up their events but not yet set up your personal page, I encourage you to do so. The host starter package prize draw is a great reason for you to go out and ask your family and friends to set up their fundraising pages as well. I have no, what would you say, shame in going out to my family and friends and saying, hey, I want to be eligible for this really cool prize. Will you set up your fundraising page? I need 5 pages and $2,000. It's a great way to get people started, even if you are doing your fundraising event later in the year. You could certainly ask them to do this now. As Dana mentioned earlier, she does her big push in the fall, but she always does something around May Awareness Month. So these reasons to ask for donations allow you to do so throughout the year without being overly pushy.
Right.
One more question. Yes, so the personal page. I'm going to see if I can open up a browser. Oh, please don't look at my ugly email here. Let me get off that really quick. Here's Facebook. That's a little bit better. Okay, so when you go to One Small Step, let's hope that it loads quickly today. This is our homepage. Within our homepage, the site is created by event. So as a host, you are going to manage one of these events. I manage the virtual walk as well as San Diego. So the virtual walk is made up of all of these fundraisers. So we currently have 11 fundraisers within the virtual walk. As an event host, you are going to manage your entire event. So I manage the virtual walk. Within the virtual walk, I also have a fundraising page. So my page, any donation that I make from my page is going to reflect in my events thermometer, as will all of these other pages. So Ted and Karen Palin are a virtual fundraiser. They've raised $1,600, and their funds will be reflected on the event. Okay. So Ted and Karen Palin, they have their own unique goal as well. So their goal was to raise $5,000. This is a part of our entire event. So Hillary, you are going to have a Las Vegas event, which you will manage. Within your Las Vegas event, you're going to create your own fundraising page, and you're also going to ask all of your family and friends to create their fundraising pages. These will all fuel into your events thermometer. So yeah, to get started, to create your own event, you're going to start at the home page, and you're going to go to the button that says host a walk, and this will allow you to register your event. Once you have registered your event, you will then need to register as a participant. So as a host, you have to register twice. Any of your other fundraisers, they only register once. Okay. I think I have gone through all of the questions at this point. If there's any others, I'm always willing to stay on the line and answer any additional questions. Dana, is there anything else that you'd like to add that you can think of that perhaps our host might be thinking?
Not really. Just that, if anybody ever has any questions, they can reach out to me at any time. I'm here to support you in any way that I can. So feel free to call me or email me, and we can hash out the details or whatever vision of your event that can help you get through the planning process.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys for taking time out from your day to join us. We have recorded the webinar, so we will post it up for you to review, as well as anyone who didn't make the call will allow them to join us as well. Again, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We have scheduled our next webinar for, April 23rd. And this is a typo. This should say PM. That would be early. So it'll be Thursday, April 23rd at 12:30 p.m. That's Eastern time. For those of us on the West Coast, that'll be 9:30. If you have any topics that you want us to address, you're welcome to let us know, and we will make sure that we do so. Have a wonderful day. Have a great month of March, And I look forward to seeing all of you out on the website and Facebook. So we'll be in touch.
Thank you guys. Thanks, Susan.
Thank you. Have a great day.